feel better than I do. I'm tired. I had to like walk around and watch you guys all day. That's exhausting. No, great job. You should be very proud of yourselves. Everybody finished. Everybody got plates on the table. That is awesome. It's great to see that. Give yourselves a hand. Awesome. I want to thank a couple other people as we get going here. First off, people outside the rope, give them a hand. All your advisors and parents, you have no idea what they went through today watching this. It's a lot harder being on that side of the rope than it is to be on this side of the rope. Is that right? All the advisors, way harder to be over there than in here. But they did a lot to help you guys out. We have our judge corps here. They're being shy now that they've been on your backs all day. Give them a hand. They really work hard to stay watching what you guys are doing. Trying to get the rest of our team out here. We have a group of folks that's called the National Education Team. They are teachers who give up a week to come out here and put this contest together. I'd like to bring them out here and thank them. They're wearing gray shirts today, I think. Sarah is from Virginia. Woo! Bob McIntosh over the corner from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yeah.
Denise Baxter over here from Virginia. Our resident electrician, fix it, make it all work guy. Dave back there. He's got the refrigerators and ovens running all day. And one more person. Paul Santalori has been running this contest for how many years? 21 years? 21 years he's been running this contest. 21 years. So for 21 years in the last year in Kansas City, thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
The baking folks making the cake. Let's give Paul a huge round of applause. Thank you, Paul. In typical Paul fashion, thank you, Paul. He makes this competition work, and we can't do it without him every year. We're going to do some quick little overview of what happened today, give you some comments, give you some thoughts, give you some things to work on as you go forward in your career. We're going to go through each area of the judges and let them say some things that they saw. A lot of the judges, believe it or not, have real jobs. Had to go back to their real jobs after they were judging today, so not all of them are still here. So I'm going to see if I've got somebody from most of the areas to give you some feedback. Is anybody still here from Night Skills? Somebody from Night Skills? Somebody from Poultry Fab? See, those are the first guys. They're the ones on the planes, and they're going back to their real jobs now. I had one guy that said, yeah, I can come judge Night Skills and get on a plane because I've got 3 banquets tonight. That's what we do for a living. Yeah, we'll do some overview because the tasting judges got to see your knife cuts and other things. Salads. Sanitation, yes. Sanitation being the plus. Somebody want to talk about it? Basic floor judges. The floor judges today, if I remember right, Richard, Michael Roddy, and Vince McCabe, who I had to take off. So, take it away.
I first want to say I've talked to a couple students, and remember that you are winners no matter what happens. You had to win gold to get here, so remember that. The biggest thing on sanitations were, honestly, we were surprised how many forgot to get their sanding buckets before they started cutting chicken. So always practice sanitation. Your knives, accidental things happen, and just keep going. Someone accidentally drops some chicken in their toolbox, Got to sanitize all your stuff and get it going. But everybody did a pretty good job. Some did a really good job. It's tough when you're in a competition, but ice your chicken when you're doing it. If you saw I was coming by feeling the pan, you can't just put ice in and then forget about it. You got to keep reloading that ice. For the most part, we thought everybody did a good job. Those of you who went last got really smart and noticed that we were watching how many students went and washed their hands before they went to their table. So by the end, everybody was streaming through, but everybody did a good job. So gloves do not protect everything. Every time you take gloves off, you really should wash your hands with your sanitation water. Sanitation water only lasts for a couple hours, so refresh it. We thought everybody did a really good job. So I just want to say the last thing is, always remember, everybody here is a winner. You won gold again here, so I appreciate being here. And all your food looked really good. You should be proud of what you've done. The parents seem more nervous than you were. So good job, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Chelsea. We're going to go through the different courses. So we're going to start with the salad course. We have Lance Nidahara and Paul Trout.
Hi folks, how you doing? How do you guys feel today?
I didn't hear you.
Today?
Great.
Well, first of all, I say this every year, and I'm going to say it again. Amazing that you guys are actually here. Okay, when I was your age, I was lounging on a beach in Hawaii, not thinking about what was going to happen in the next 5 minutes. For you guys to step up, for you guys to be here in high school, that's awesome. So I want you guys to give yourselves another round of applause. Awesome. You guys did a really fantastic job today. I've seen some pretty terrific plays in the past, but you guys, well, across the board, you guys did really well today. As for salads, well, actually, before I start the salads, I got a couple things to say about. I actually took a little walk around. So you guys noticed I took a little walk around, just to look around and just observe, some of you working. Some things I noticed, and these are not really related to salads, but I gotta kind of say that stock. You guys are making stock, and even when you guys are making other things, I would advise you to peel your vegetables. I know there are chefs out there that don't peel their vegetables, but in my opinion, I think it's kind of lazy. It is too. But I saw a lot of veggies going into the stock, even into other things that were not peeled, like carrots that were not peeled. The skins are on the carrots. They're gonna be, and I used to do it. The skins are on the carrots, and obviously they're bitter. They're gonna have residue in the ground, so they're thrown in the ground, right? So we're gonna peel them, especially if you're working with potatoes. I know some of you guys had to do some precise cuts on your potatoes, and some of you guys did not peel your potatoes first. Okay, unless you're making skin on mashed potatoes in your restaurant, you're not going to be using those scraps anymore. If you peel your potatoes first, then the scraps can get thrown right into the mashed potatoes, and that's money, right? And we're talking about you guys going into the industry after this, and you guys are making some money, right? So if you're just going to cut your peels away and throw away all that potato, you're throwing away money, right? So anyhow, that said, I noticed one person, there might have been more, but I noticed one person roasting their bones for the stock. Who's that? Anybody? Oh, a bunch of you did. Awesome. Whenever you guys do competitions like this, or any competition, one of the key things to do is to figure out ways to increase flavor. And that's one of those things. You have heat, you have bones. Don't just throw the bones in the water. Roast them first. Definitely increases the flavor. It increases umami. It increases something called the Maillard reaction, which gives you a nice deep flavor of your stock. It's awesome. Let's see. And then in your stock, again, throwing vegetables with peels in it. I saw other people throwing other things like that, like tomato skins and things like that. I had a chef, like the first chefs that I worked for, he used to say, the stock pot is not a trash can, right? We don't just throw things in the stock pot because we don't want to throw them away, right? We put good, clean ingredients in our stock pot. The stock it's called fond, right? It's the foundation of everything that we do. All the sauces, the soups, it's a foundation. If you have a bad stock, you're gonna have a bad sauce, right? So let's remember that. Sharpen your knives. Okay, if you guys are cutting onion. I know a lot of this is negative, but this is really good stuff that you're gonna take with you. But I see you guys cutting onions, and you're cutting through your onions. I hear crunch. You don't want to hear a crunch. You want to hear your knife slice right through that onion. Okay? I saw a lot of people crying, right? If your knife is nice and sharp, you're not gonna cry as much when you cut into the onion, right? And you're not gonna crush all those cells that make your onion mushy. So not just onions, but everything else. Sharpen your knife. learn how to sharpen knives. I know a lot of like my colleagues take their knives to get them sharpened by a professional sharpener. Learn how to sharpen them yourself. It's a great skill to have. All right, so now on to salads. Some of you guys, I noticed some of the greens that you guys were using. A lot of the greens had a lot of wilt to them. A lot of like, you know, the edges were kind of brown. You were using the very outside of the green leafy, you know, the lettuce, which is kind of tough and bitter, right? Check your ingredients for quality, okay? Don't just go and grab ingredients, especially if you're doing a competition. You want to have the best ingredients, right? So you're not going to grab a Roma tomato that's like half rotten, right, and use it, right? You're going to try and find the best one, right? Try and check your ingredients. Make sure you have good quality ingredients, all right? And some of the vegetables on your salads were just kind of, you know, they went straight from your knife cuts straight onto the plate. You didn't manipulate them at all, like, you know, raw julienne carrots and things like that. Manipulating your vegetables is very important. Do something to them. Blanch them. You know, yeah, and we actually had a couple of, you know, pickled items. Pickling's awesome. A quick pickle is just great to increase flavor, and it shows skill. I know that's what we want to do, is we want to show skill. We want to show that, you know, we can utilize the skills that we've learned in school, right? And at the very least, dress your vegetables. If you're going to serve them raw, at least dress them. Some of them were just raw, just on the plate with nothing on them. So, you know, at least, you know, put some flavor on there. For your dressings, a lot of your dressings were great, and some of them that were just straight up vinaigrettes were great, and it's a great skill to have to learn how to make a vinaigrette. But by the time they got to us, they were starting to break, right? So there was no guidelines for, and the guidelines did not state you couldn't put an emulsifier into your dressing. And I'm sure some of you did. An emulsifier or a stabilizer like mustard or pasteurized egg yolk. Well, I don't think we had pasteurized egg yolk, but mustard. You can use pureed garlic. It's a great emulsifier, right? So just think about that. It'll keep your dressings emulsified and they'll hold together, all right? Yeah, onions. And I think that's what I got for salad. Anything else?
I just want to say that every student I've ever brought to a competition has been successful. And that doesn't mean that they always win. And it doesn't matter what level they come out of it. Because just doing it, I think, puts you a level above everybody else that you're around. You know, so when you guys think about it, you're the best of every state. So it's really a great opportunity for yourself to see what everybody else is doing also. You know, and that's, if you didn't come by yesterday and see the post-secondary, you certainly should have. You know, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind. Next year, I don't know how many are seniors there. Oh, wow. Hey, I teach at Ozarks Technical Community College. We're an exemplary program for the ACF. We're in Springfield, Missouri. You're welcome to come check out our school. Yeah, a little plug. The big thing with salads, you know, we talked about it, sometimes a student will do it once and then they think they got it. You know, you practice a vinaigrette, it takes a lot of practice. You want to make sure that every time you do it, the dressing sticks to your lettuce. When we ask for greens, that's what, you know, greens should be in the salad. And you should look at it, use your visual to judge whether it looks good or not. And make sure you got enough on the salad, okay? Taste it, how many right? Taste, analyze, adjust, taste again. How many people did that throughout their salad making time? You know, there was some lacking in salt, basic flavorings, you know, the balance, you know, thinking about balancing the vinegar, you know, with maybe a little honey or something like that. So those are things to keep in mind. We saw, you know, a couple of beautifully emulsified dressings. One person put two dressings on the plate, which was kind of interesting and cool. You know, it shows a little bit of innovation, you know. But I really enjoyed it, and I think that you guys are on your way to a great career. You know, this is part of the passion, you stepping up and doing this. It's part of the passion.
Thanks. Go on to soup. Somebody still here from soup? All right, we've got Chef Jacob and Chef Tina. She has an unusual accent that I tease her about all the time. I'm not from Texas.
Yes, I am from Texas. But one thing I want to say to all of you is thank you so much. And so many of you that I met were so sweet and so kind. And please keep working in our industry and do the best you can every day, because you all did a great job and we loved sampling the soups. One of the things that I would like to say to you is make sure you taste it before you give it to your customer or to the judge. And make sure there's salt or pepper or some type of seasoning in your broth or whatever you choose to make your soup out of. And some of you did an awesome job with your garnishes, and some of them were a little over the top. But overall, I'm very proud to be here, and I'm proud to meet you. And I just want to encourage you to continue doing what you're doing, and every day strive to do a little better, and you will.
I'd just like to say that you all did an excellent job coming in, taking it very seriously. One thing on soups that kind of I noticed was, the edibility of like some of the garnishes. They were very difficult to eat because they were so large. Nice skills, nice skills, nice skills. You know, just make sure the edibility is there. It's going to be conducive to an enjoyable dining experience for your guests. And I appreciate you guys letting me judge for you today. Thank you.
I want to throw one more comment about garnishes. Make sure that the garnish is, for a soup, it should fit on your spoon. Just think of that. They're eating with a spoon. They don't have a knife for their soup, so it should fit on the spoon. One of my things that I preach about garnishes, and this is more me than the industry, but it's changing. You all know that garnishes need to be edible, correct? Take it another step. Garnish needs to be eatable. Think about that. Will you take the garnish, put it in your mouth, and eat it? So think about that when you're doing garnishes. It needs to be eatable. Let's go to the first entree. Somebody here from entree one? All right, Chef Stephen Shapley from Le Cordon Bleu, Minneapolis.
Hey guys, first of all, the thing that really jumped out at me today, we had 46 different courses, and almost all of the chicken breasts we had were cooked well, and that's saying a lot. That's one of the toughest cuts of meat to cook properly, and y'all did a really good job. I can tell you were paying attention to it. A couple suggestions that seem to affect a lot of people. Make sure the coloring that you have, whether it's on your chicken or your vegetables or your sauce, the colors are harmonious. You don't want your carrots to be dark and then have a bright white creamy sauce. Always keep in mind seasoning. You're going to hear that forever, but especially in competitions. The two other judges that were at my table today, we tasted 184 different components. So we're not going to take a big bite of each. Each bite has to pop. It's got to have a little acidity. It's got to have the right amount of seasoning. And keep that in mind. It's not the same as somebody sitting down to a full meal. The composure that this group had, I thought was amazing. Usually there's one or two people that just freak out. Nobody freaked out. Everybody held together. Even some folks that were falling behind a little bit, caught up. They kept their head. They still put out good food. Very, very impressive. Keep up with this if you love it. Keep up with competition. It builds the skills that make you a good employee and a good cook. And most of all, make sure you're having fun whenever you do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef. And the entree too, the braised entree. Somebody? Yeah. Do it again.
Hi guys, again. Hi. A couple things on entree number 2. First of all, if you guys have hot food going out, what should your plates be like? Hot plates for hot food, right? Make sure you heat up your plates. Put them in your oven. I mean, don't put them in your oven too early because you don't want them to be like blazing hot where if you put your sauce on there, it reduces immediately. But you want them to be warm. At least, when you touch them, they'll be uncomfortable to hold for a little while, all right? So get hot plates for hot food so that by the time it gets to us, it stays hot, right? Hot plates for hot food. Cold plates for cold food also. And that would have been a nice touch for salads too, right? We'd chill our plates for salads, right? A lot of places chill their plates are nice and frosty, right? It's a nice touch for your salads. So hot plates for hot food, right? A couple other things. Keep the rims of your plates clean. I know I saw one plate that had garnishes on it. I mean, that might be, you trying to put a little extra touch on it, but when your server comes to serve that plate, they're gonna put their finger right on there. The garnish is gonna be ruined anyway. right? But other than that, if you have stuff all over your hair, schmutz all over your hands, you put it on that plate, you're gonna get the stuff all over the rim, and it's gonna make that really nice, kind of, you know, it's not gonna be very appealing, right? So what you gotta do, when I do competitions, I go and I buy those cheap packs of sponges, right? Ocello sponges, and I cut them into little squares, and I just, you know, put a little bit of white vinegar on them or water, and I just wipe my plates with them, right? Wipe the rim really fast, and it doesn't take long, and it's really easy. Sauces for some of your braises. Now this was the braise dish, okay? There's not much more that I like than a nice braised like ossobuco. A braised dish is like comforting. It's one of those things that's just a beautiful thing, right? So when we braise items, we want that item, the meat to be nice and rich and you know and have a lot of flavor in it. Braised dishes typically are very robust in flavor. You need to make sure your sauce matches that. So after your meat is done, it comes out of the oven, and then reduce your sauce. Cover your meat, reduce your sauce. Put it back on the heat, bring it back up to a boil and reduce it. I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but just crank that heat. And then if you want, you can thicken that sauce afterwards so that it clings to your meat, right? So make sure that sauce, because a lot of those sauces were just very kind of just thin, brothy sauces. It looked also like sometimes those braises were just kind of boiled in stock, which, I mean, to be honest, it's okay, but just make sure your sauce matches your food. And then your vegetables, make sure your vegetables are cooked. Some of you guys have some pretty raw vegetables out there. I mean, the centers, especially potatoes, right? Take a while to cook. Root vegetables take a while to cook. So start them early, or if you don't have that much time, cut them a little bit smaller. Cut them a little smaller, they'll cook faster. All right, so make sure those vegetables are cooked. Because, you know, if you have a beautiful piece of meat that's delicious, and then a raw vegetable, and you're not expecting that, that kind of just ruins the whole dish, right? Make sure they're cooked. And taste, every time. Every time, before your plates go out, taste. You guys go out there and you guys open your own restaurants, I hope that somebody is tasting every component of every dish before it goes out to the diner. And taste, always taste. There's a lot of, like, I guess, shortcomings on seasonings. Some of you guys need to use salt. Salt is the most important seasoning there is, okay? So use salt, and not too much, but use salt. Don't be too judicious with it. So make sure you taste. And the last thing I want you to know, all of these judges and all of these guys, these all hats over here, have so much experience and so much to offer. They are such great resources. After you're done here, make sure that you connect with them, talk to them, ask them questions. Use them as resources. Use me as a resource. Ask us questions. That's what we're here for. Okay? Some of the best things I learned was, you know, behind the scenes, asking some of my mentors questions. So consider all of us mentors to you. You guys did a really great job.
Just a few things. Garnish. Definition of garnish. It's not an orange wheel anymore. Parsley used to be the poison tester's way to show the kinking's not going to be poisoned. But a garnish should be practical. It should go with the dish. It should be a component already in the dish. Trees, you shouldn't have a chainsaw to get to your dish. And you know, things like that are important. Like, you want to use rosemary, maybe a quick fry on that stem, and then sprinkle it around the plate. It really makes that rosemary taste good. So that's really, really important. Braise. Look up braising. You know, braising, what kind of cooking method is it? Combination, right? So that hot pan when you start your chicken, especially with poultry, that hot pan, a little bit of oil in there, and then browning that chicken skin and starting that process. And then when you turn it over, letting it brown a little bit more. And then if you have hard vegetables, you might add them at that time. Then you can deglaze the pan with your liquid. You don't want to submerge the pan, but there's a point where you keep liquid in there. If it's cooking out, you keep a little bit of liquid in there, but you don't want it so rubbery that it looks like you boiled it, okay? So that's important. Those techniques are really important to look at. Once you get a packet, if anybody's going to compete next year, look at, you know, what they're asking for you to perform. An emulsified dressing, you know, look at those things that the judges will be looking for when we sit down at the table. You know, so if you're doing a soft vegetable in a braise, it really doesn't go. You know, a zucchini in a braise dish. Now, a zucchini added at the last, 3.5 minutes is going to probably come out perfect. But if you let it in there for 5 or 10 minutes, it's going to be just soft and mushy. Everybody understand that concept? You know, and some of the parsnips were perfect. You know, some of those things that went into it were just done perfect. But also, the garnish could be components of what's in the dish. You know, so just keep that in mind. Keep in mind about utilizing those components. Bringing together a sauce, a nage, you know, the saved liquid after you've done the braising technique. Put your poultry to the side, you reduce that down, take a little Montever, a little butter, throw it in, swirl it in. That's after you reduce that liquid. And then that will tighten it up a little bit. I think I saw a couple people doing that, okay? And then that gives it some texture. It'll nap your spoon, and it'll hold on to the food that you have on your plate. Everybody understand that concept? Makes it a little more appealing, okay? You guys did a good job today. I appreciate that you guys came here. So hopefully all of you who aren't seniors will see you next year. Thank you.
All right, a couple of parting words. You want to say anything, Paul? He usually does.
Students, thank you. Parents, thank you. Advisors, thank you. As I told the post-secondary group yesterday, there's a time to work and a time to play. You know, you guys are kind of in a transition period of deciding kind of which way you're going to kind of lean or fall. And in order to get to the places where you want to be, you have to work, and you have to educate, and you have to plan, and you have to fail, and you have to get up, and you have to go again. And you go for a while, and you work, and you plan, and you fail, and you go for a while, and you continue to rise above it all to a point in time where you fail less and less and less and less. There's a chef in town that was an apprentice of mine, and Chef Spano's out of the Adams Mark, Dwight, and he has a sous chef that works for him now. And one of the stories that Dwight told the sous chef is, "Chef, when do you know that when you're not a chef anymore? Or when do you know when you're a chef?" And I can't remember exactly the words I told Dwight, is that when I stop asking questions. And so what does that mean?
You know the answers.
I'm still not a chef. I'm still asking questions of who, what, why, where, how. There's still things that I don't know. Do I know more than most of you? Probably. Do I know less than some of you? Probably. So there's questions out there. So go out there and find the answers to the questions, and keep seeking, and move yourself forward. There's something I thought about this, you know, some kind of memento, not necessarily for me, but some way to kind of memorialize you guys in some form or fashion from year to year to year, and I'd like to start it this year. If you would like to sign this sheet pan, and so that this sheet pan will stay on the floor, and so that maybe next year or 2 years or 5 years you come back and say, "Hey, I'm the class of 2014. As you're standing up here in this position as a judge, as the contest coordinator, as the contest technical chair, as an advisor sitting or standing on the outside, you can say that I was there, and you have proof." Thank you all so very much.
Thanks, Paul. One of the things that I want to leave you with, because we're about done and you guys are way past time. This is a small family. The culinary world is a vast number of people in this industry and a very tiny family. You guys have probably heard of the 6 degrees of separation. You heard of that? Where you can connect to anybody in the world with 6 other people. The culinary world is three people. And your advisors will back me up on this. We can probably connect to any culinary executive chef in the United States and a good chunk of the world in 3 connections. Does that sound about right? 3 people. Think about that. You can connect to the entire culinary world in 3 people, which means you, right now, have connected with somebody from the entire country in one day. These are the people you're going to be bumping into for the rest of your career. The people you're sitting next to right now. This is your culinary family. Get to know them and appreciate them. Part of it too is we have, this is Candace Childers talked about it yesterday. We have the forms here if you would like to sign up for a 50% off on a student membership to the ACF, American Culinary Federation. That is a little bit more of an extension of our culinary family. So take that. We have your cell phones up here. If you don't want your cell phone, leave it. I'll be more than happy to play with it for you. Also, we have decided since next year we are moving to Louisville. Just so you know, you are the last SkillsUSA culinary class to work on the stoves that you worked on. They're going away. And the advisors are cheering. We have brand new electric stoves that were donated by GE that we'll start using next year. So they are going away to Habitat for Humanity tomorrow. They're all going to go away. We also decided we don't want to ship these to Louisville, the cutting boards. So if you'd like one of these cutting boards, take one home with you. Take them home, because we're not going to ship them to Louisville. So take one of those. And I want to thank you for what you did today, all your hard work, all your passion, all your excitement, and now all your desire to just get the heck out of here. Congratulations to every one of you. Have fun tonight at the amusement park. Celebrate. Woo! Woo!